Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the Mercury retrograde that's happening between the 9th and the 29th of November 2025. Your first row is going to represent the past cycle that you're dealing with during this retrograde. You have this Hold Your Vision card and this Show the World the Real You card. You know, we've had very similar messages to this Show the World the Real You in past readings, Leo. So, you know, a lot of your readings are asking you to kind of like shine, or there's kind of saying it's your time to shine. I would change it a little bit. I think for Leo, it's time for you to like take up space, just like Aquarius, your opposite sign. You know, Pluto is in Aquarius, your opposite sign. And again, according to Chris's crappy astrology here, I would say that Pluto is where we get our power. And I feel like Pluto in Aquarius wants you to take up more space and to be more bold and assertive and really get the things you want. So, you know, I kind of feel that's going to be an important thing for you here, Leo, just over the next many years of your life. And that's what I would focus on. I do think that it's important that Leo doesn't give up on a vision. You have that card that says hold your vision. Again, I'm going to change it a little bit, and because I just feel intuitively it's more saying that you need to keep going with your vision. You know, you have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands, you know, here's the problem that I have sometimes. I'm just going to bare my soul to you here a little bit, Leo, and say that, you know, my problem with the Eight of Wands sometimes, or I think what can be the problem for people, is that all of these wands, they're like in a different spot on the card. So Eight of Wands is one of my favorite cards in the deck, but sometimes I think that we can be working on something with Eight of Wands, and we can think that it's not working, because these wands are happening at different times. So it can say that you're working on something or have been working on something, and because you're not accomplishing things in a certain order, you might think that it's not working when it actually is. And so I don't worry too much about the order that things are going, or, you know, it's kind of encouraging you, I think, to be a little bit more flexible as well in how you accomplish things, like the order in which you accomplish things, because, you know, again, those wands are all going to hit their target, but just different times, and that's okay. Eight of Wands is a card of quick success, so, you know, it can say there's actually a quick success coming in for you, but you have to keep going. And again, with Mercury retrograde, you know, this is a card of communication, but just in general, you know, we can be a little bit more confused, or, you know, we can be a little bit more unsure if something is successful or not, or if it's going to be successful, you know, based on the order. And that's definitely something I would think about. Typical Leo, you have the Seven of Swords. You know, Seven of Swords, it just wants us to do things in a different way. This guy is going to war, but he's going to war with this army by stealing these swords, so he's not really going to war. Again, I think for Leo, this comes up for you a lot, that just, again, opening up to all solutions is going to be very beneficial for you. Even trying things that you don't think will work. You know, it's like I've been in business since I was 16 years old. And if I had a nickel for every person that told me, oh, that doesn't work, you know, something that I was doing that did work, I could retire, right? I wouldn't need to have a billion businesses going at the same time. So, you know, again, I've heard it my entire life that, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. And most of the time when people tell you that something doesn't work, they've never done it themselves. So it's like, how the hell do they know in the first place, right? And I kind of feel that here for you, Leo, where it's like you might have people that are, you know, telling you things this month, you know, for the whole entire month, not even just the retrograde, although the retrograde basically consumes the entire month of November. You know, you might have people that are saying like, oh, that won't work in this area of your life or that area of their life. But, you know, if they haven't tried it, I wouldn't necessarily listen with the Seven of Swords. And I think we're in an amazing time for experimentation. So even if something doesn't work, you learned something that doesn't work and you just try something else, right? You have the Six of Cups. Yeah, a very playful vibe this month. And it's kind of interesting because this retrograde is happening in Sagittarius, which is like a very playful sign. And so even though it's a retrograde, it's almost like the energy wants us to be more childlike, wants us to ask more questions and, you know, do more research and have more fun. So, you know, I think this is more energetic, the Six of Cups. I think it's saying that being in the energy of like a childlike energy, being more playful, you know, enjoying yourself more, all that other stuff would be a very good idea. Six of Cups is the card of nostalgia, and Mercury retrograde can definitely make us feel nostalgic about the past. So, I would just be careful of getting stuck in nostalgia or getting stuck in the past with the Six of Cups. But you have 2 6s here. And so if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I love 2 6s. 2 6s is like confirmation for your path. It says you're going the right direction. With the 8 of Wands, you have the 3 of Wands. Yeah, 3 of Wands like expansion and growth. And so I feel it would be an amazing time to focus on things that cause expansion. I think it would be an amazing time to try things that you've been thinking about as well. He's looking at these boats that are on the water here, and those boats kind of represent an opportunity for him to go on an adventure. But again, he has to go get on those boats. He has to go on the adventure, which is what I would do with this card. With the 7 of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. Curiosity, again, just being curious about what you're working on. It's just weird. I get this feeling for Leo that it's like you have this fixed vision, which I don't actually think is a bad thing. It's like you have this idea or this thing that you're trying to create in your life. 10 of Pentacles in your next row, which is amazing. Could be very successful. I think what needs to be flexible is how you get there. And where you need to ask questions, or, if things have been moving very slowly for you, then, being curious about how you approach whatever it is that you're doing is going to be the secret sauce here, Leo. With the 6 of Cups, you have the Page of Pentacles. Could be a little bit of good news. Again, this Mercury retrograde seems to be one that is bringing in kind of like news or information. The Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness and learning and all those other great things. So, definitely could be getting some information this month that helps you move forward, which of course is a good thing. Next, we're going to look at what needs closer attention during this retrograde. You have this Hand of Fate card. It says, forces beyond your control intervene. You have this Dagger card. It says, conflict and danger lie in wait. Yes, I'm pretty sure you have this card with me recently. You're actually the second person to get this card in this set of readings. So for those of you that don't think I shuffle these cards in between, there you go. Someone else had it, which kind of proves the shuffling. Not that I care, because if you don't like it, don't watch. But what I would say here is that, again, I think that Leo has dealt with people who bring conflict into their life over the past few years. Based off your astrology, I can see how some of you, especially if you've been working with people, like in work or business, you've probably dealt with issues with people causing conflict in whatever it is that you're doing. The trick here is to not be paranoid, number one, but number two is to pay attention. It's like all those people, because you probably had multiple, not just one. All the people that have caused a problem, they probably have something in common. And I feel like the universe is like saying, what is it? What does that type of person look like? What does that type of person, do they all have the same habits? Do they all have the same mindset? Do they all say the same things? Like, what is it that you need to pay attention to? Because again, in this row, we're looking at what you need to pay closer attention to and how can you avoid it moving forward. And I would just be paying very close attention. I think this is extra important for Leo. You actually have a good row here. You have the 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. So as far as what you need to pay closer attention to, 10 of Pentacles is your vision. It is your ultimate vision for your life. 10 of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in life. It is the tree of life. And so this is about focusing on building and leaving a legacy. I definitely feel Leo would benefit from focusing on long-term success, not short-term success, right? So we're talking about doing things that are going to make a bigger impact over a period of time. This could be like getting a solid career, getting a solid job, starting a business, building a family. The list goes on and on there. Could even have to do with your health as well, of course, Leo. It's like, obviously, the healthier you are, probably the longer you're going to live, unless you get hit by a bus or unless an asteroid comes and takes us out. Might happen. I don't know, right? Or unless the robots take us out. Probably will happen. So who knows? But what I would say is I personally want a fighting chance against the robots, so I'm going to try to stay healthy at this time, right? So the 10 of Pentacles wants you to do the things that are going to lead to long-term success. Next, I think you need to pay attention to what's working with the 6 of Pentacles. You have 2 6s, which is confirmation for your path. I love 2 6s, but 6 of Pentacles is equal give and take. He's giving to this person, not this person. This person gives back to him. That's why he's giving to this person, right? So it's pretty simple with the 6 of Pentacles. What we have to pay closer attention to is cause and effect. Like, if I invest in this thing, does it actually produce a result? I said at the beginning of the year that I thought 2025 would be a year where we should all pay attention to bigger results. What produces the biggest result in all areas of your life? Health, wellness, spiritually, love-wise, business-wise, everything. And if you pay attention to that, then you're going to create faster improvements and bigger improvements. And, obviously that's what I would do. Next, you have the Page of Wands. Again, almost everyone has had the Page of Wands. Page of Wands, I kind of feel the message for people right now with the Page of Wands is to be more in that non-attachment to outcome type of energy where you have a goal, like I said at the beginning of your reading here. You have something you want to accomplish, but how you get there shouldn't really matter, right? He has a goal, but he's just going to do things until either he bumps into an obstacle or he loses enthusiasm, right? The thing about the Page of Wands is that he has to be enthusiastic about what he is doing. And so if he's not enthusiastic about something, he changes it. He changes it to make it something that would make him enthusiastic, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting at here with the Page of Wands. It's kind of like a funny thing. I've just noticed this, over the years on YouTube and things like that. It just seems to me like the people who have millions and millions and millions of subscribers, like some of them, it's not true for all of them, I guess, but what I've noticed about a lot of them is they're doing it because they want to do it. That is the Page of Wands. They're not doing it because they have to do it, right? And there's a big difference. And I feel the Page of Wands is encouraging you to do things where you want to do them. You don't have to do them. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, inspirations. Pluto and Neptune. Neptune. Neptune and Pisces is where I'm going with this. See, today is day 1 of the Mercury retrograde. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it's November 9th, the day 1 of the retrograde. It's already hitting me. But Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces, it's like we have to work on things that we're inspired to do. But the problem is to get started, we have to get inspired. But the problem is to get inspired, we have to get started. So it's like a little bit of a mind effort, right? And the Ace of Wands is inspiration. So, but, really the trick is we almost have to go on an adventure right now to find inspiration. It's not really going to find us necessarily. So if you're trying to build a business, trying to be successful, trying to find love, you have to go do something. And that could be anything. It could be going and enjoying a hobby. It could be reading a book. It could be watching YouTube videos about things that you think you might be interested in. And if you do those things and you become inspired by something, take action, right? That's what the Ace of Wands wants us to do. Well, actually, I would say that's what this reading wants you to do, Leo. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Emperor. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Taking more action on what's working. I know that sounds obvious, but literally, if you don't know my story, when I was younger, I had a marketing agency. All I did was go into businesses, see what was working, see what wasn't working, and I would tell the people, this is what's working. Literally. $1 million companies do not know what is working for them. Plain and simple, right? So, and I do this all the time as well. I know this stuff, and I don't pay attention sometimes. So, again, I think we all need to hear it, but the Emperor is about taking action. It's about doubling down on, the things that are working with the Six of Pentacles. He sees an opportunity and he makes his move, right? He's sitting down, but he has his armor on underneath his cloak. So, it kind of says that he's ready to go at a moment's notice. When something presents itself, an opportunity, he takes it. With the Page of Wands, you have the Four of Cups. Yeah, everybody. Again, very common energy right now. This retrograde could be bringing back opportunities for people. Retrogrades absolutely can bring back an opportunity for us, kind of like a second chance. And the problem with the Four of Cups is that he's been disappointed at least 3 times before, and now he's getting another chance at whatever this opportunity is, but he's not accepting it. So he needs to know that he learned from these 3 cups, and he just has to apply what he learned to this 4th cup, and it will be successful. So again, if you're getting another opportunity to have something that you want, don't be afraid. Next, we're going to look at the hidden messages that are coming in for you during this retrograde. You have this Virgo card. It says digest on it, and you have the solar flares. It says activate. Yes. We are in a time of heightened solar activity, by the way, so that makes a lot of sense. But I feel like you could be taking action on a lot of things. I do think it's a good time to study. I feel like this digest card is almost saying that you are kind of being a student of life. You are studying certain things that are happening, and you're digesting the information. And I do think it is a good time for that, of course. You have the Five of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Ace of Pentacles. It's weird that you always get the Hierophant with me a lot, I think, this year. And again, I feel that there's some sort of connection between you and Neptune and Pisces. Even though we don't necessarily connect Leo to Pisces necessarily, I think that there's something about it for you. Neptune and Pisces is a direct challenge to traditional belief. Hierophant is traditional belief. So with the Five of Wands, it's like there might be some things that Leo has believed forever just because, and you could be finding conflict in those beliefs. This is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. It's like some of those beliefs might be money blockages from how you were raised or something like that. And obviously, by seeing the conflict, you can correct it or you can overcome the blockage, which I think the reading is asking you to do. And by doing that, you can make more money, hopefully, or become more successful or find love or whatever the challenge is that you're facing. I don't even think it's a challenge. I think that it's the fact that, there are things that you have believed and now you're questioning some of those beliefs, right? And that's what I feel like you're facing with the Five of Wands. You have the Hierophant, again, the traditional beliefs. The Hierophant is pretty good with the Ten of Pentacles. The Hierophant, he is the connection between heaven and earth. He connects both sides. He's able to translate the messages from heaven down to earth. And the Ten of Pentacles can be your dream, right? Which might exist in the clouds. It might exist above your head. And so I feel the Hierophant is encouraging you to bring some blessings. He's making the symbol right here that represents a blessing. And I think he's asking you to bring some blessings down to earth. Now, you might have to think outside the box. You might have to challenge some traditional beliefs, some blockages that you have. But I feel facing those things is going to move you forward at this time. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Again, I think you're getting another opportunity to do something that didn't work in the past. Like I said, it seems to be one of those retrogrades that's that's bringing back opportunities to people. The other thing I think about is we have this water trine that's happening right now as well. And this water trine is very lucky. It's happening with Jupiter in Cancer also. So, even though it's a Mercury retrograde, this month is kind of lucky because of the water trine we're having. And, I don't know. It could just be like a lucky opportunity, a lucky break coming in for you, or another chance to have something. And I would nurture the opportunity. Again, you have that Emperor. I feel like you always get this with me, Leo, Emperor and the Ace of Pentacles. It's like there's a big opportunity in front of you, but you have to grab onto it. Like he has to get up off his throne, and he has to take action on it. With the Five of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Again, Seven of Pentacles is the juice worth the squeeze. I feel like it's pretty simple. I think you're just examining traditional beliefs, blockages, money blocks, things that your parents told you, things that you were raised on, and you're just saying it's not worth it. Or you're looking at it and you're saying, maybe there's something else that I could believe. Or, maybe there's something else that would lead to a bigger return or a better investment or something like that. And I feel you're just making a change. Seven of Pentacles can just simply be a change in direction. With the Hierophant, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, probably you. It's like you're calling the shots, I feel, right now, whether you realize it or not. Or I feel like you have the power, at least, to call the shots, whether you realize it or not. So I kind of feel this is just you showing up in a strong position here with the Emperor and the King of Wands. The King of Wands wants us to be bold, assertive, confident, all those other things. But, like I said, I feel really just you're calling the shots here. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles, which is also amazing. King of Pentacles is like wealth building or doing things to build wealth and financial security. I feel I've said this to you a million times this year. Definitely a big year for you to focus on, kind of building wealth or building financial security. And, the thing about the King of Pentacles for Leo is I feel like it's good, but I just wouldn't be playing it too safe. The King, and I don't mean that you should take ridiculous risk or anything like that, but he is the card of convention. He's very similar to the Hierophant. They both represent Taurus energy. He's different because it's not so much belief systems. It's just he's doing things the way he's always done them. and which might be a little bit different. So the King of Pentacles wants us to take risks in the sense that it wants us to try something different. So it's like, if your job has been the same for 20 years, it might be time to like level up. You don't have to quit your job, but maybe how you do your job needs to change. Same thing with love. If you've been dating bozos for the past 10 years, it's like, maybe it's time to find a different type of person, right? So that you can get a different result. King of Pentacles wants us to get a different result, an abundant result. Next, we're going to look at how you can move forward at this time. You have this occupation card. It says work, business, labor, hobbies, projects, self-employment, a lot of effort, all mental and physical activities. You have this main female. This could just be you showing up in the reading, even if you're not a woman. This is a general reading. It says an important female in the reading, wife, partner, girlfriend. So, again, some of you, I really just feel like that main female is you, even if you're a man or something else, I don't care. It's just talking about you in general. I feel a lot of your readings have been talking about working too hard, Leo. It's like, maybe there's a better way to work. I think I said to you earlier this year, it's almost like you need to flip things around or something. I don't know. I don't know what you do. You're all different. But it's almost like there could be something that you do in work or business where it's like, if you flipped it or did it backwards or kind of came up with a different approach, it would be a lot smoother. So definitely something to think about. You have the Moon, the Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Knight of Pentacles and the Lovers. The Moon is a period of time where you aren't sure where you're going. The Moon is part of the Fool's journey. He has to get from here to these mountains in the background, and if he does that, he'll be successful. So the Moon kind of tells us that we just have to keep working towards our goal and not give up, and if we do that, we will find success. You have the Knight of Pentacles. I feel pretty good about the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you're going to make progress this month. Even during the retrograde, you could be making a lot of progress. And so, like I said, I feel like this literally is forward movement. If you've been thinking about doing something, I would just do it, Leo. I know that's not a good answer. I know I've been saying this to you for like 6 months now, but I really get this feeling. It's like there's something in front of you. Ace of Pentacles. It's like right there for you to grab onto, and you just have to grab onto it. It's like you just have to make your move. And like I said, I know that's not good advice, but that's all I got. He has these empty fields behind him. If he just plants seeds in those fields, they will grow. You have the Lovers. There has been a lot of love in these readings, and again, even though it's Mercury retrograde, who cares, is what I would say. Again, astrology will not prevent something that's meant to be in your life from being in your life. So it really doesn't matter if you're dealing with a retrograde. A relationship can still be successful. It's like the universe is going to be like, oh, well, this was the love of their life, but I'm going to ruin it because it's Mercury retrograde. It's like that doesn't happen, right? So I tell people, it's like you should be dating, you should be having fun, and stop taking things so seriously. It's like when people tell me they're not going to date during a retrograde, I'm like, if you're worried about the retrograde, it's not going to affect. You're not going to have a better relationship in the future. Why? Because if you're saying that the retrograde is what's causing it, that's the problem, right? It's not the retrograde, people. With the Moon, you have the Temperance card. This is Sagittarius, and the retrograde is starting in Sagittarius, so could just be the Sag energy. Temperance is about alchemy, turning one thing into another, which, a lot of your readings talk about. So, I think transforming or flipping or doing things backwards, like I said, could be very important for you, Leo. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the World, which is great. Again, great for progress, great for, having an achievement or making progress in your life. So, that's what I'll say there. I feel like there could be a lot of success here for you. With the Lovers, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it could be just, this could just be a time of change in your love life. So again, you don't even have to date anyone. It could just say you're changing your opinions on relationships. You're changing how you approach relationships, all that stuff. This could also just be a change, literally. The Lovers traditionally was a card of being at a crossroads, having a choice to make. And the Wheel of Fortune would be about making the choice that moves you forward, plain and simple. You have this fan card. It says romance, celebration, party. I would be having fun. This retrograde, again, is starting in Sag. Sag is a sign of having fun. And so even though it's Mercury retrograde, I would be doing something to fill your fun bucket. I pretty much have said this to everyone. You have this money path that says a path with money is waiting for you to find it. Yes. I think you just have to make the move here, Leo, because, there could be a lot of financial success. You have the September card, and I always clarify these monthly cards. You have this Nest card. It says an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. Sure. I think you're a Leo. Leos love family. So, if you're looking for love, could be finding a person you'll have a family with. You have this apple. It says temptation will test you. People, right? There is something similar, I feel, between the people that are wrong and the people that are right for Leo. And, again, it's like some sort of similarity. It's like they look the same, they act the same, something, right? And I would just be paying attention to that. You have this mice card. It says discord among family or friends. I actually feel like stuff with family is going well for you here, Leo. I mean, what I would say is we had the Mars retrograde at the beginning of the year in Leo. And so, to me, we should avoid arguments in the home anyway. But, maybe it would be a good time for you to avoid arguments and things like that in the home with this card. But all in all, this looks pretty good, Leo. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.